This is Sarah, block editor. I'm here with Ben Humbert, one of your Neot Tokyo council members. This series of interviews is designed to introduce citizens to their community leads and community council. So we're going to jump right in with Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
So we're going to start off with where we always start off, which is your pre-crypto background. Take us back to before the days of Web3.
In the before times? So in the before times of crypto, do we want to go to like college or like do we want to go like how far back?
Give me what's relevant. Yeah.
What is relevant? So I used to work. So my background is a degree in biology with an emphasis in molecular genetics and pre-physical therapy. I was able to finally get into a job, that required that background when I started working at Thermo Fisher Scientific in Rockford, Illinois. Rockford is a great town, great parks and rec, great friends, that I made there. And so I was doing large volume and custom antibodies and protein. So as a project manager doing product manager level work, I would basically do everything from telling manufacturing how to produce what we wanted to for clients. I'd be quoting, calculating the margins, editing bill of materials and labels and stuff. So I really liked the customization and ability for me to do something custom for clients. That was like something that I enjoyed. It was definitely a problem-solving position, and it made me think more than I think I would have at any other, job at that time at like around 23 to like 25, right? So I got a promotion, and then so I actually moved to Madison, Wisconsin, from Illinois. So I am a convert. I do like it up here. My plates are Wisconsin, so it's official. When I moved up there, we did screening for kinases. And so basically Pfizer, Bayer, AstraZeneca, and a bunch of companies would send in compounds that they believed would be good for clinical trials. So kind of treating MS and other different types of diseases. We would run through a synthetic screening to kind of simulate what would happen in a human body physiologically, right? So that's kind of like right before, they go, okay, this seems good enough for clinical trials, and then, testing. So that was, my other job that's more relevant to my experience. And that's when I got my PMP, and COVID hit. Because we were getting international shipments, they said, hey, we have to cut some of the staff. So I actually got let go.
What's you said PMP. What's a PMP?
Oh, PMP is a project management professional certificate. So essentially, it's basically a certification for project management to be like, I'm a real project manager, and so it allowed some doors to open, a little bit of a pay increase, and my company wouldn't pay for it. So I was actually donating plasma twice a week for about a year. To pay for it. So literally to get this, it was my blood, sweat, and tears. So yeah.
Donating blood to pay for it. I like it. It's doing good for the world.
Exactly. And then when COVID hit, I actually got hit with the original OG strain that, was the worst one. Thankfully, I, survived. Now this was a time when we were actually moving as well. So, well, actually, no, that was a little bit later. We were my girlfriend at the time, now wife, and I were looking for moving from an apartment to a house at that time because it was getting a little too cramped in our 1-bedroom apartment, right? So in Verona. But anyways, let's see here. I got the promotion. I was there. Then I started getting into crypto. So I actually put one of my bonuses towards XRP. I was a big XRP fanboy because I liked the use case of international payment settlements being facilitated at a third party level. It was something that was, ledger style, right? So I thought there was a big use case for that. There was a big market for that. So, I put it in, and obviously, the first time you buy crypto, it always goes down, right? So, yeah, so that's when I first learned about the.
I thought that was every time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's always every time. And so then COVID hit. I got let go from my job. I then got COVID. And so essentially, because I was producing wild type antibodies, I actually got paid like 5 times more for my wild type antibodies. So basically, I was producing antibodies that hospitals were looking for to help treat patients and to do immunodiagnostic testing, right? So essentially, I used I was donating plasma twice a week while digging a hole for our friend's pool in their backyard, that they got for their stimulus check, and working at Kroger full time. So I was doing a lot to just keep it up, pay the bills, but I was doing a lot of crypto research at that time. And then about the time where I joined Navitus, a pharmacy benefit management company, which is a complete left turn from everything that I was doing, right? So all of a sudden I found myself in the benefit management space, which was kind of odd, but I had a connection there. Linda, who we're friends with, she got me a product management position, and then I got my CSPO. So it's kind of like certified Scrum product owner. So basically, there I was I was managing our Scrum board while giving cards to our devs and building products essentially for GoodRx. GoodRx was like 90% of our business. So that's as a manager of discount card programs. That's product manager for discount card programs. That was essentially my gig. And during that time, that's when I actually started getting more and more into crypto. And during that time, when I got my new job, I proposed to my now wife. And then that was after we bought a house on a virtual tour on an iPhone after seeing 23 homes, putting in offers for 13. And then on a virtual tour, we just bought our house that you currently see the background in. So,
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, right? And then just one last thing, from the prior to crypto, the one thing that put me over the edge, kind of to go all in on crypto was I was taking advantage of the CARES Act by taking out my 401k and, delaying the payments. Right. So I was delaying the interest payments associated with that just in case anything happened. Right. And so I took out some money for the engagement ring, and then I had the rest in the bank. And when I had gone to the bank to take out the money in Illinois, Citibank, they were like, yeah, we just need to double check with our manager that's okay to take out the funds. I'm like, why do you need to double check with your manager that's okay to take out my money? And so they didn't really have a good explanation. And then I started to realize that wasn't my money. That was the bank's money that they had approved to give to me, at that point, right? So I made the decision to pull everything out, my savings, my checking, and put it all into Bitcoin because I really like the freedom of monetary movement narrative. And I still believe in that today of non-custodial self-ownership of assets. And so I put literally everything into Bitcoin in August of 2020, and I kind of haven't looked back. And that's basically, where everything kind of started for me from a crypto perspective.
Yeah, it sounds like just the perfect storm of good and bad experiences to bring it up. I think everyone went through that with the COVID times. There was just so many unknowns going on, but it also pushed everyone outside of their comfort zone in such a good way.
Yeah.
So let's take this all the way to Neot Tokyo now. When did you get in? How did you get in? How was that experience?
So I had just sold my Mecca at the peak. I was the last sale for oh gosh, what was it? Why can't I think of it? It was not Mecca Chaotic. It was the first kind of crypto raffle system. Why can't I think of Mechaverse? So I was the last sale for Mechaverse. That was like the peak sale of like 3 and something, or like, some crazy amount of ETH, right? And so I took that and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it because I had a wedding coming up, whatever. And so Xenofan, who is currently a council member now, he hit me up and was like, hey, there's these riddles and you need to get involved like immediately. Like, this is something big. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I got involved in the riddles, and thankfully Jose hit me up about him because that's how I was able to join Neot Tokyo. And then from there, I was able to, the community, man, it was wild. Like, you couldn't catch up with all the chatter that was happening back then. Like, you would type something and it'd be gone in an instant. And that kind of experience like kind of sticks with you. Seeing so much activity, seeing so much participation. Obviously, the number of bad actors has gone down, and we have a really, really good community after like 2 years. It's been like 2.5 years now, right? Which is absolutely wild because it feels now crypto time feels like it goes so fast, but it seems like it wasn't even that long ago. But anyways, yeah, that's how I got into Neot Tokyo. Jose hit me up and was like, hey, you got to get in this, or you're going to be left behind. And, you should probably use some of that money you got to buy like an identity or two. And yeah, now I'm here.
Nice. It really does go fast. You just said 2 years, and I saw, your face go blank. Like, really, 2 years? Was that it? And
yeah.
It's the same experience, because I'm on a meeting with you, and we've had several over the last year, and you get to know people so well because you're all working towards the same goal and the same thing that you feel like you know people for a long time, and then to have it only be 2 years is strange. So let's get to now. What's your current focus? Like, what are you working on? What are your projects? What do you do?
Sure. So number one focus is my family and son. And so after that, we've got, right now I am working on a concept or a project. So right now I had this idea back in December of what if we could NFTify medical claims. And so basically allow for full homomorphic encryption involving basically smart contracts that can process fully encrypted messages, and the ability to work on those and send those and understand those messages without revealing those parties or that information, right? So I made this huge lucid chart of how it would work, how and kind of driving into the pharmacy benefit management space of how can we enable people to generate money from their own personal health, right? And so we have this really cool opportunity to anonymously follow individuals from a population health perspective, longitudinally or, over a long period of time, anonymously. And so the ability to have on-chain indicators of epidemics, pandemics, sickness hotspots based on what's being prescribed. Are antibiotics being prescribed? Are there other illnesses being reported based on this anonymous, data source, right? So you would have the entire population health, like the vision is entire population health management on chain to be able to have instant settlements and the ability to see what's happening in real time around the US or around the world, right? And so that kind of evolved into me then taking a look at zero knowledge proofs. And so with the zero knowledge proof, essentially, everybody's heard of ZK rollups and all these things. But right now I'm working with my current company at RX Benefits with their innovation days, where I've created a presentation about utilizing zero knowledge proofs for claim adjudication. And so what this means is that you could go up to the pharmacist and never have to give your PHI or PII, which is mind-blowing, right? Because usually all this is centralized in databases that get breached. And so just last year, like just under 140 million people were affected by breaches. Like I even got a letter in the mail saying that my personal information from UW Health was compromised, which is extremely upsetting when you pay all these premiums and then you end up having your information leaked, which can cause identity
theft. Letters all the time. It's like one comes every month. It's like, oh, this company leaked your info. This company leaked your info. I'm just like, whatever. It's out.
So then essentially what that means is the goal that I'm trying to achieve here with my current company and, working with other people in the Web3 space is what it means is using zero knowledge proofs means that you can validate a statement without revealing any information about the statement itself. So the ability to prove that I'm over 18 or over 21 or that I have hazel eyes or that my driver's insurance, like my license is authentic, right? And so essentially, it would be right now I'm working on how we would decentralize PHI and PAI onto trusted devices like your mobile phone and be able to communicate through computational servers that then send tokenized zero knowledge proof hashes into smart contracts and different calculators for your benefits and accumulators, just all ran by smart contracts, and the ability for you to approve and revoke doctors. So that way you never have to sign anything at the hospital on pen and paper again. It's not you just approve it and they're able to see all your information that is relevant to them assigning you a medication, figuring out what interactions you have. So that's currently what I'm working on today is kind of the next step in evolution of Americans or those around the world receiving their medications without having to reveal who they are, which basically has a lot of really big implications for the space and the laws surrounding it, because technically HIPAA laws require that if you're handling PHI or PII, you must follow these rules. But if there's no PHI or PII being sent around, what does that mean? It's all obscure messaging in a zero knowledge proof hash that only a validator would be able to tell, right? And so it makes this really, really interesting, kind of exciting era that's coming through. And I'm sorry, I'm starting to nerd out here. It creates a really, really interesting area for what security means, and our law is going to change based on this technology, that they have to switch over to it because it reduces the risk of breaches. So it's going to be really interesting in the future to see how this plays out, and I hope to be a part of that, right? And so the other things I'm working on are I would say consulting. So right now I'm still consulting for VersusX.io, which is a partner of Neot Tokyo. I'm also helping with another game that a citizen is building right now, and trying to get Fukushima Fish IP into different Web3 games, such as like avatar tattoos of Koi, or different ammo stickers, or Fukushima Fish gun keychains, right? And then in the background, I'm still adding. Instead of adding people to basic needs.help right now, from a charity perspective, I am kind of meeting with different charities around the area, like Milwaukee or Madison or my hometown, to basically say, hey, there's a new generation of individuals that don't really have their checkbooks out and don't like, going to specific sites to utilize their credit card information, right? There's a new generation of people that want to peer-to-peer donate to you through a different system, and I want to help you with that. So usually I set them up for free, and I give them like $150 in Ethereum to help with transaction fees and $5 in Matic, and then basically say, hey, if you guys can accept anything you want, and I explain to them different, because it's digital property, it's a write off for them. So, but yeah, that's currently what's going on with me, crypto wise.
That's there's a lot going on there. I know
Yeah.
we've done a couple articles. This is stretched out over several interviews I've done with you. We've done Fukushima Fish. We've talked about your consulting. So we'll go ahead and link to all those other articles so anyone can go a little deeper on that. Let's get to the next question. So this one, I have a feeling it's going to be hard for you to answer. What is your main expertise? So if citizens are looking at their council members and they want to talk to Ben Humbert, why are they going to want to reach out to you?
They're going to reach out. Excuse me. They're going to want to reach out to me for operational realization. So essentially, if you want to have something done, the way my brain works is I usually process map everything. So even at my real job right now, to get everybody on the same page, I will process map everything out, where all this information exists, where we're grabbing it from, and how we're processing it. So from an operations point of view, if you think I can, basically operationalize it to communicate to developers or, basically explaining how it works and how it would work and function. So yeah, if they also, I've, got some connections with multiple different communities that are both well-known and not well-known. So from can you get me a guy to help me with XYZ, or can you operationalize this thing I'm trying to think of and do? That's what you'd go to for me. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So what, for anyone that doesn't know, and just about everybody already knows you, but for citizens who are new, maybe, what are you most well known for in Neot Tokyo? And you can go back as far as you want.
Oh, I'd say Swap Street. I would say hands down Swap Street. Yeah, because oh gosh, a big chunk and handful of citizens used it. Race for the Win used it a lot for transacting with multiple citizen parts, like in a single transaction, right? We had a guy in the imposters community basically transfer 64 assets in a single transaction, which was super cool to see. And he only paid $50 in gas, which was mind-blowing. Yeah, so everybody basically knows me for Swap Street. Now everybody kind of knows me for Fukushima Fish and some Swap Street, but people, as we were talking about before this interview process, people are still asking and talking about Swap Street, and I really would want to make another one. But I feel like I already have a solution for how we would implement royalties to kind of get past that. A lot of major collections have already created agreements for specific platforms and marketplaces. So it's a little bit tougher of a market. There's still, an application for Web3 gaming. But yeah, so most people know me for Swap Street and Fukushima Fish.
And tell us why you joined the Leads or the council.
I joined the council because I felt like I was a good representation of a chunk of citizens, right? I'm not someone who's constantly investing in 100%, but I do. I'm someone who builds projects and loves exploring ideas and networking, bringing people together. So as someone who understands both, as someone who understands, both what the elites are looking for and doing and wanting, what S1s are doing and wanting, and what S2s are doing and wanting, I feel like I represent a good chunk of, what would be good for citizens based on the proposals that come in. And I feel like our council has extremely good has an extremely good track record with being open, honest, and trustworthy for exactly why, we do the things that we do from a proposal standpoint, from a partnership standpoint. And I'm just glad to be there to help with those opinions and things based on, for our Altrua, proposal and agreement, to set up our own marketplace with them. I was able to advise a little bit because, with SwapStreet, I was able to give them advice on, different fees and, what we should approach to, both build the treasury and also to give citizens, what they're looking for. So, but yeah, I feel like I provide a good balance between operations, the majority of citizens and, how I represent them, and sponsoring, multiple different, proposals as they come through.
Okay. The hardest question that has stumped everyone so far. One word to associate with Ben Humbert. Now, originally we were looking for something like, marketing, PR, dev guy, this kind of thing, but we have gotten every gamut of words, from feisty to spicy to all sorts of words. I'm going to pick one word to associate with Ben Humbert. What is it?
Oh God, see, these kind of questions are like defining, right? Because that guy said that. Wait, what?
And we're going to make you do it on the fly too, if it works, right?
I would say, oh gosh, I want to say operational, or I would say, gosh, I'm outgoing but analytical. What does that even mean?
Outgoing but analytical.
But that's like 3 words. That doesn't make any sense.
We got to think of a word. There's got to be a word that goes for that.
There's got to be a word. Give me a second.
SwapStreet. That's the one that everyone thinks of when they say,
right.
We've been SwapStreet for too long, so it just happens.
Let's go with. Let's go with analytical.
Analytical. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Stick with it. It fills a lot of gaps on that one.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. All right. So, final question. We're going to go outside of the world of Neot Tokyo and tell us a little bit about your hobbies outside of whatever it is we do all day.
Sure. So my hobbies include, building mechanical keyboards to, what else do I do? I'm starting to pick up running again. So basically running and training. What else? What else do I do? I enjoy, Dungeons and Dragons. I enjoy video games. I enjoy trying to get as many evening or nightly walks as possible with the family, because when it's nice out, it's just so nice to get out of this chair working from home. I also enjoy working on my car. I also enjoy making music too. I've been getting into pocket operators, as well as my OP1. So I've been learning music theory over the past, I would say, 4 months. And so I've been just making songs and sending them out. And right now with my best friend, Pat, he lives in Chicago. He ended up actually marrying my other best friend in high school. So we, through Soundtrap, will send each other different riffs. And so I will splice it together. And we'll kind of be doing a postal service kind of way of doing things, because the band Postal Service actually did their albums by sending each other back and forth parts or pieces of songs, and then they would combine them together and send it through the mail. That was the way that they composed their music, which was, kind of a fascinating concept to me. And so, yeah, now he makes guitar riffs, and then I also gifted him a pocket operator, and so now we, basically make different music through Soundtrap remotely from time to time. So, that's this is kind of something that I'm currently really into. So like, I don't know if you can hear that.
I can't hear anything now.
Bummer. But I can basically, but essentially this thing, I can sample the world around me and actually tweak it, cut it, different tones and factors and such. But it's fun. I enjoy sampling the world around me and then making music from it.
I love it. I think we have a lot here. We have an analytical musician who does a little of just about everything. I think that pretty much
remember, master of none. Remember that, master of none. Do a little bit of everything, but master of none.
We're going to wrap this up. This is Sarah, block editor. That was Ben Humbert, one of your new community leads. And this episode is going to be available on X. Talk to you soon. Bye, Ben.
Bye. Thank you.